My top tips for FPL managers this pre-season is to gather as much information as you can. You should be looking at how managers are setting up their teams, which players look like they're doing well, but also look ahead to the fixture tickers, because there's some teams, the likes of Arsenal and Brighton and Man City, that not only have really good FPL assets, but also have a really good run of fixtures. So you should be heavily investing in those teams.
My top tip for FPL managers heading into the 23-24 season is to really think carefully about price points. Give yourself as much flexibility as possible in these opening few weeks of the season. Think carefully about making sure that that budget is spread carefully so that you can move around if you want to. Having a player in the 7.5, the 8.5 bracket in midfield will allow you to swap to the ones that really start the season on form, and doing the same in defence by having the most expensive defender in the game, followed by others from each of the different price ranges. So one in the 6 to 6.5 bracket, one in the 5 to 5.5 bracket, and then maybe a couple sitting one at 4.5 and one at 4 will allow you as much flexibility as you need to jump on and off players.
My top tip for FPL managers ahead of the new 23-24 season is not to blow your chips too early. I see it so often when FPL managers, after maybe a difficult start, game weeks 1, game week 2, they start thinking about the triple captaincy and free hit and maybe pop in an early wild card. I would say hold on to those chips. We saw last season how valuable they can be later on in the season.
My top tip for FPL would be to look 5 weeks in advance. An exercise that helps me a lot is to make sure I know what team I want in 5 game weeks time, essentially a wild card in 5 game weeks time, and to build towards that team from the current game week. Of course, you don't want to lose out on points that are immediate to be had, but finding the balance between getting points now and making sure your team is set up for a long run is very important. FPL, after all, is a marathon, not a sprint.
My top tip for FPL managers for the new season is just that slow and steady wins the race. Stay patient. A couple of things you can do for that. Roll a transfer as often as you can. Give players time to deliver. And most importantly, don't overreact to bad game weeks. So yeah, top tip, just patience, patience, patience.
My top tip for FPL managers in the 23-24 season is when you are getting those really close 50-50 decisions, do your own homework, don't outsource those decisions, and listen to your own gut. What this leads to is you're playing FPL in the form of least regret, because you're not blaming anybody else, and as long as you're blaming yourself, I think it's easier to live with it. So don't outsource the decisions, do your homework, and listen to your own gut.